So let's talk about the Magan Text. The Magan Text in the Necronomicon is filled with stories and tales about the pantheon that is worshipped in the book. The importance of the Magan Text in the Necronomicon is four main things. Just a couple of details first. Joshua Free, author of the Necronomicon Anunnaki Bible, states that the word Magan alludes to Egypt, which would mean that the tales in the text came from Egypt, although the tablets with the stories can be found in Mesopotamia. The creation myth and origin of man is the first part. The world's oldest creation story from Mesopotamian tablets and written in the Necronomicon, where the great serpent Tiamat, the bringer of all life, and its mate Absu, were stirred by some of their offspring known as the Elder Gods. Those like Anu, Enlil, and Enki, the three top Elder Gods that are worshipped along with Marduk. When Absu went to fight the Elder Gods for bothering them, Absu was killed, which really pissed Tiamat off. Tiamat sent his general, Kingu, and a load of demons after the Elder Gods. When the Elder Gods heard of this, they appointed Marduk, Enki's son, to lead the charge and to defeat the demons and Kingu and Tiamat. When he confronted Kingu and Tiamat, he slew Tiamat and cut her in half after shooting an arrow in her mouth and stunning her with a great blowing wind. He also killed Kingu and left the carcass kind of hanging around for a while. From Tiamat, he cut her in half and fashioned the heavens and the earth with her two halves. He also sealed the rest of the Ancient Ones away behind the gate of Arzir, the last gate, to keep them away from the world for forever. After the battle, everything was calm for a while until the gods and the Igigi, who were the workers, also known as the Watchers, became tired of doing the labor on Earth, so Marduk took the blood of Kingu and created man to serve the gods by tilling the fields and doing other manual labors. It is in this text that we see why humans can either be good or evil. Although we were made by Marduk with all good intention, we were created with the blood of Kingu, the blood of the enemy. It is for this reason that we have magic within all of us, and why it's our duty to hone and develop our skills to fight the Ancient Ones and all other negativity around us. It's kind of the reason why we can either lead towards the side of evil, because we have that within us, and the side of good, because that's our outside. The next part that I want to talk about is on the sleep of Ishtar, also known as Inanna's descent into the underworld, which can be seen as the first type of story where someone dies, goes to hell for 3 days, and rises from the dead. It's also on ancient Mesopotamian tablets, so if anybody wants to claim that the Necronomicon took this from Christianity, you're mistaken. So in the story, Inanna descends into the underworld to defeat her twin sister, Ereshkigal, queen of the underworld. In the Mesopotamian tablets that I was talking about, it's explained that Ereshkigal captured Inanna's mate, which gave her the motivation, but that detail was left out of the Necronomicon's version, probably to keep the focus on the descent itself and as a ritual allegory. During her descent, she stops at 7 gates where the gatekeeper, Ningishida, removes a piece of jewelry from her at every gate. On her way down, she sacrifices her crown, her wand, her necklace, her breastplate, her belt, her bracelets, and her robes, making her confront her own sister naked and defenseless. Ereshkigal then unleashes demons upon her and kills her, tears at every part of her, and just rips her to shreds. 3 days later, Kugaru and Kulaturu, 2 elementals that were sent by Enki to kind of check on her and make sure she was okay, find her body and sprinkle 2 gifts from Enki, the water of life and the food of life, each 60 times to resurrect her. The number 60 is Enki's number. Each deity has its own number. So the fact that they sprinkled the water and food of life 60 times demonstrates that it's Enki's power to bring something back to life from the dead. After being resurrected, Inanna, with the 2 elementals that saved her, flee the underworld, reclaiming all 7 items that had been stripped of her, with the demons and evil spirits trailing her. She escapes the underworld. This tale is important not only in the mythos of the Necronomicon's deities, but also in the rituals that you do with the gate walking, as I'll explain next. I can see my cat back there. She's never gotten up that high before. So let's talk about the gate walking. After a gate walking ritual, you are required to read a passage about Anana's descent up to the gate that you have walked. So after walking the first gate, you read from the beginning of the text up until it says, open the first gate. And so on and so forth with the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Let's talk about the next part. The gate walking and the descent of Ishtar also are important because of what I call the mid-gate, which is the gate of Ganzir. The gate of Ganzir is one that you are to walk 3 days after you walk the gate of Marduk. And the gate of Ganzir is, in itself, a descent into the underworld. This particular gate asks us to follow in Anana's footsteps to the pit to encounter our own shadow. The negative aspects of ourselves that we may not like to talk about and may not even notice. From a psychological standpoint, this can attribute itself to exploring our subconscious. When someone opens the gate of Ganzir and stares deep down into the pit, hallucinogenic effects such as sights, smells, and sounds may happen to the practitioner. From the experience, I can tell you that what you will experience may be unsettling or frightening because you are confronting your own negativity. But it is essential to grow and progress not only as a practitioner of magic, but as a human being. People don't live happy lives or full lives with skeletons in our closets, and the Magan Text and the Gate of Ganzir are present to help us confront those negativities within ourselves. The text's use to improve psychic and intuitive ability. In a lecture done at the Magical Child Bookshop in New York City in the 1980s that I managed to get a recording of from the Papers in the Attic blog that I keep talking about, Simon stated that you could improve your psychic and intuitive abilities by reciting the text at least once a week. If you are afraid to engage in any spells in the Necronomicon, perhaps it would be a good idea to start here, reading the Magan Text once a week, and also reading the book over a couple times to familiarize yourself with it. So that's my take on the Magan Text. If I have anything else to add, I'll either put it in the comments or I might make a second video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments and I can answer any of those things in future videos. So if you want to learn more about the Necronomicon, check out my other videos and like and subscribe for any future ones that I put up. Thanks.